Now in Eclipse, what all should we know? Like yesterday in programming we talked about, in Notepad we need to write our program, then in command prompt we need to compile our program, and command prompt we need to run the program. In Eclipse that will change a little bit. Here there will be 4-step process. First will be create a project. Second step will be add Java file or Java class to the project. In project we can have multiple classes. Third is write the code, and fourth is run the code. If you see, nowhere I wrote we have to compile the code, because in Eclipse compilation happens automatically. Now we will repeat yesterday's exercise that we did in Notepad. We'll repeat the same exercise here, but we'll use the Eclipse way of doing things. So first step is creating a project. Now for creating a project we'll go to File, we'll go to New, and we see here we are creating a new Java project. So this is what we have to do. Let's click here. Now when we are creating a project, it will ask for a project name, and if you see, it is saying use default location. Whatever Eclipse asked us, that it needs a workspace to store our project. So any project that I create will go and store in this directory. If I want to change, I can just remove it and I can change the directory, but I'll keep it default. So let's say this is the project that I'm creating, and I'll call it class 2. We can give any name to our project, and right now we'll not go into the details of other settings. Just type in the project name and say finish, and we are done. So we see a project has been created. In Eclipse, another benefit is at one time we can have many projects opened. So we can have more than one project open and available here, and we can keep working on various projects in parallel. Now in this project, if I open this, we see a source folder and we see some Java JRE system attached. Some files are referred in our project. That's an indication that Eclipse has automatically detected that on our machine Java is already installed. Now next thing, first step we are done with, we have created a project. Second step is we are saying add a Java class to the project. Now to add Java class, there are many ways. We can click the project name, we can go to File, New, and say Class. So we are saying we want to add a new class. Another way is we can click the source folder and we go to File, New, and say Class. Both mean the same, that we are adding a class to our project. You can use any way, or you can right click on this. So you can go to the project name, right click, and say New, and say Class, because in our project we are adding a class. So let me click here. Now when we do this, here you see it's mainly UI way of adding things. Now here it is asking clearly, give a class name. So let's say this is our first program, and I just say finish without paying any attention to any other settings. It has a lot of settings available, but what we care about is we'll just give the class name and we'll say finish. Now after doing this, you see Eclipse has put the syntax automatically. Public class, whatever class name we gave, it has put public and class automatically. It has created a file, firstprogram.java, automatically. We did not have to do anything there. So second, another benefit of Eclipse I'll say is we don't have to remember the syntax of writing a class. That is, I'll say it, less code typing, which means reduced chances of making errors. And we can do faster development. That's another thing, faster development. We can write code fast. Now can someone tell me what is the next thing we do? We want to write a program which prints hello world. So what should I do next so that this program when we run prints hello world?
The main class should come first.
Yeah, so we should write main. How do we write main?
Public static void main, and within the parentheses we have to write the string and then arguments.
Right, so we have to remember that syntax and type, right? In Eclipse, what I can do is I can simply write main. It's a shortcut in Eclipse, and I can do control space. I'm holding the control key and hitting the space. When I do that, you see Eclipse is saying that I can do the code recommenders. I can do the code completion and it is giving one shortcut. Main is a shortcut. If I go to this and hit enter, you see it has automatically written the public static void main for me. That's what I noted here is the benefit, that we have to do less code typing, chances of making errors are reduced, and I can type faster. So again, I'll do this. I wrote main. After main, we do control space, and its suggestions come. We take the first suggestion and we go ahead. So this is, we typed main control plus space. This is the shortcut in Eclipse. Yeah, so now we have done this. Next, we want to print a message, hello world. So what should I write here to print a message? Yeah, Chanda?
System as capital dot. I think it is, once we write system, we can put the same control space.
So if I write system dot, and after dot, if we wait, see again it is suggesting. This is called auto suggestion, auto completion. So I can go to out and I can hit enter. I put another dot and I can wait. It will show a lot of options here. Then I can go to, I can type first few letters. I can say PRI and do control space again, and it will show there is a println, there is print. Oh, there are two printlns, many printlns, fine. So there is println, there is print, there will be printf also, and the more we type, it keeps on reducing the options that we have. Whatever matches what we are typing, that is what will come. So if I hit enter, so it has put system.out.printf for us. Now there is a shortcut even for this, and that shortcut is sysout. We do control plus space, and now if I say sysout control space, and you see it types system.out.println automatically, because this is something that is used quite often. Inside this I can put hello world. So now if I remove this semicolon, you see Eclipse is immediately saying there is an error here. If I move my mouse there, it says syntax error, insert semicolon to complete block statement. So this is a proof of that as we type in the code, Eclipse tries to compile our code and tells us the error immediately. We don't have to wait for the compile command to run. So compilation is happening automatically. That's what we noted here, that Eclipse is doing auto compilation. Now if I make this change and save the code, all the problems in our code are also shown in the problems view here. So we see this problem, once I move my mouse there, I can see the error, or at the bottom it is showing this error, that this is the error, file name is, resource is this, path is this, location is line number 8, and type is, it's a Java related problem that compiler is giving. So if I go and fix it, put a semicolon here, save it, the problem will disappear from the problem section. So we have created a project, we have added a file to the project, and we know if we want to write code to a file, we just go and type in our code in that file. Now last step is to run the code. Now running the code is, again, we can go to our file, right click and say run as Java application. So this is as simple as that. Just go right click the file and say run as Java application, and the moment we run it, a console will appear here which will be showing us the output. So console view shows us the output of our program. That's why this is called integrated development environment, because for all our development needs we were within this environment only. We did not have to go to a command prompt, to notepad or anything else. Everything is satisfied. This is one-stop shop for all our development needs. Here, so that's why going forward we will be using Eclipse for all our development. Second, if I want to add another program, I can go and say add a new class, and I can say second program. Now in this window, if we see, it is giving me a checkbox. Which method or stuff would you like to create? If I would have said create main and I say finish, I automatically get a file created with main method added, and it says to do auto generated stub. You can write your code here. So ultimately what we see is this is saving our time. And here again I can use, just remember these two shortcuts, sysout, because this is something that we are going to type quite often, system.out.println. So sysout is more useful. Main, even if you forget, that's fine. because I talked about two shortcuts here. Main and control space, sysout and control space. So sysout is something that we'll be using quite often. Now if I have to run second program where I did not write any code, I can go and right click this file and I can say run as Java application. So now second file is running, and in this second program we wrote an empty message, so nothing is coming on the output. And we can keep on adding multiple files here, and that's where Eclipse make more sense, because for any application that we automate, we'll be writing multiple classes. In Eclipse, if we do that, managing our code becomes very easy. So these are the benefits of using Eclipse. Is there any other benefit that we talked about but I did not write here? Do you see any other benefit of Eclipse?
Debugging.
Okay, so Venkat says debugging. Yeah, so we will hold debugging. That is certainly a benefit.
Multiple project.
Yeah, multiple projects can be worked at same times. So multiple projects can be worked at same time. Anything else?
Installing the jar files in the install
Okay.
JS.
Okay, so Venkat is going a little ahead of what I'm teaching, but good. So jar files, we'll talk about that. So these debugging and jar files I have not intentionally introduced because we are going step by step, but yeah, these are the benefits. There are some benefits that I have not listed, but I talked about them.
Shows results on the same screen.
Yeah, everything comes in the same screen. We do not have to leave the environment. Console is in the same screen. Our code is in the same screen. So yeah, everything we can do in same screen. So we can use one software to do all. One software for everything. Anything else? Any other benefit?
I think Eclipse, it helps, like if we make any error, right on that time it will show message like that. That's in that line has some error message.
Yeah, so it is early notification of errors. I'll note that also. One more thing that we are seeing is it is using syntax highlighting. Syntax highlighting in the sense whichever are the reserved keywords of the language, like public, class, they are in a separate color. Whatever code we are writing, that's in a separate color. So this is called syntax highlighting. This makes program more readable. Yesterday I was writing it in Notepad++, so there also syntax highlighting is there. So here we could see public class is in a different color. Now the benefit of this syntax highlighting is even if we accidentally mistype any language keyword, it will change the color to black. It will give error as well as it will change the color. So this gives us an indication of this is where the error is. I mistyped a keyword of the language. Right now it is not that evident, but this happens with if else, while loop, other constructs of the language that we will use. There it will come in more handy. So I'll say this gives us syntax highlighting and this gives us auto completion. There are a lot of shortcuts, although this point and the other point, faster development or less code typing, they are kind of similar, but we'll still write it separately. That this is the benefit of using Eclipse. Fair. So we have come to a point where we have found a replacement of using Notepad and command prompt, and this is where we can start writing our code. And so that was the introduction of Eclipse. Now one more thing, sometimes what happens is in our machine we accidentally close some window and we don't have any idea which window I have closed, and let's say I close console, I close this. So when I close some windows, what has changed in this Eclipse out of the terminology that I used? I used 4 terms. On closing some views, which out of these 4 has changed?
View?
No, view we have closed.
Okay.
Workbench.
Workbench is the area.
Workbench, I think.
No, workbench is, I still have workbench open. This is my workbench.
Is it perspective?
Yeah, it's perspective, right? Perspective was, okay, we say 10 windows at these positions, that is a perspective. It's seating arrangement for all the views. The moment some views go off, perspective has changed. Now, if I have changed the perspective of this window, I want to restore my perspective, then we can go here. This is a Java perspective, or we can go to Window, Perspectives, and I can say Reset Perspective. When I say Reset Perspective, what it will do is, it says, do you want to reset the current Java perspective to its defaults? And defaults means whatever was there originally, we say yes, and it will bring back everything. See, so problems has come back. Console has gone because console view comes when we start running our program. So anytime you lose some window and you don't have a clue which one you have closed, just go back to Window, Perspectives, and just say reset my perspective. And you will see there are other perspectives also. If I go to Open Perspective, there is a separate debug perspective. If I go there, now you see the view has changed. Sorry, the perspective has changed. Here there is the code view has moved here, variable view has come, console view has come, outline has moved to the right side, the other view that we had on the left side, Project Explorer, Package Explorer, that has gone. So we are in a different perspective now because this is a different arrangement of views. If we want to go back to our old perspective, again I can go to Window, I can say Perspective, Open Perspective, and I say I want to go back to Java perspective. So this is our Java perspective. Another one was debug perspective, and same way, like some perspective keep on coming, and anytime we want to switch back to our old perspective, either we can go to Window, or here we'll have a list of all the perspective open. So I go to Java perspective, I go to debug perspective. And this much fundamental is good enough to know about Eclipse, and after that we'll be able to effectively use the Eclipse.
I have a doubt here, like the change of perspective doesn't result in the result of variation of the results, right? Results, right? It's the same. And so it's only the variation of the windows, right?
Yeah, it's just a variation of windows. Your code execution does not change at all. Output does not change at all. Is that what your question was?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, so I'll show you. If we go to the debug perspective here, I can still run this file, but that Explorer is not there. Now I can run it by using this play button. So it says run second program. If you see second program is active, if I go and run it, okay, in second program, so we did not write anything, so we are not seeing an output. Let's go to first program, and I go and press the play button. Now you see first program is running, we are seeing the output. So our code runs, output comes in the console view, because these are the two views that we care about when our program runs. In this perspective, we just have to see here and here. In the other Java perspective, our code was in the center and we have to see at the bottom. Yeah, in this perspective also we can run our code by clicking this play button. Yes, that's easy.
Exactly. This seems to be more readable and very user friendly.
Which one? Sorry, can you?
This one.
Yeah, this one is more user friendly. Yeah, that's why this is the default
Yes.
view.